Now that we've made that function, we can call that function inside the constantly loop. Now we'll figure out what we want this position hearts function to do. So we've got our list of hearts, and what we can do is just like a shopping list or any other kind of list, we can look at each individual item in the list. So for example, tomatoes, beans, potatoes, and we can do something with those individual items. So we got an individual heart at the start of our list, and we could say put number 1 heart at where the camera is, and then number 2 heart could get bumped across next to number 1 heart, so on and so forth until we've positioned all our hearts nicely. Now, to go through each of the items in the list, we're going to use something called a for loop. So we'll go to control flow, and we want this block here, for each item in list. So grab that, and this will go to each item and then do some instructions, and then once it's done those instructions, it'll go to the next item in the list until it has gone through every item in that list. So we use this to position our hearts nicely. Now we need to give it a list so it knows what list to look for. Go to variables, and we'll find our list of hearts, put that into the for loop. Now we can start positioning this heart. To position an object, we go to transform and grab set x position of myself to 0. Now we don't want to be positioning myself, we want to be positioning this item from the list. So we can go to variables and find true false I, and we know that our hearts list doesn't have any true false data in it. It has instances, so click on true false, change that to instance, because I will be an instance. Put that in there, and I is probably not a very good name for each item, so let's change I's name. Click on I and rename the variable to heart. So now it's saying for each heart in the list of hearts, set the position of that heart to 0. Well, where do we want it positioned? We want it positioned at the start of where the camera is. So get rid of that 0. We'll go to looks and grab camera X. And let's position it across a little bit from the camera. So we'll say camera X plus 10. And the same thing for the Y position. Set the Y position of the heart to camera Y plus 10. Alright, let's test this out. See if it positions the hearts constantly from this list. So now we can see we've got 1 heart up there. It's positioned. The score is actually kind of getting in the way of that, so we might go move that.